My name is Araya Murphy. Today I want to talk about how memes and emojis have impacted English linguistics. First, I'll begin with a few definitions. The meme definition is from Oxford English Dictionary, and the emoji definition is from Google. A meme is a cultural element or behavioral trait whose transmission and consequent persistence in a population, although occurring by non-genetic means, is considered as analogous to the inheritance of a gene. An emoji is a small digital image or icon used to express an idea, emotion, etc. in electronic communication. The word meme was coined by biologist Richard Dawkins in his 1976 novel, The Selfish Gene. Today, we go a little further to define an internet meme. An internet meme is an image, video, piece of text, etc., typically humorous in nature, that is copied and spread rapidly by internet users, often with slight variations. In other words, memes are characterized by both similarity and variation. While each individual might perform cultural information differently, the basic idea, the meme, constitutes a common element duplicated by many minds. For this project, I looked at research about emojis and memes with a goal to determine how they have influenced English linguistics. Unfortunately, there is a gap in the literature, but I hope to fill in that gap today. Looking at the effect of emojis and memes on linguistics is important because, with the rise of technology and the popularity of social media, these modes of digital communication have been integrated into our daily lives. Memes and emojis influence English linguistics through the consistent use and dissemination across the internet. Emoji was the modern starting point for using images to communicate with one another. According to Marcel Danesi, users interpret and comprehend the intended meaning of emoji in a given context while situating the use of emoji within a framework of rhetorical language. In other words, each emoji holds a unique meaning, and using emoji requires an understanding of the visual language. In addition, I would argue that emojis have affected the way we communicate verbally or on the internet by inspiring semantic change to some of the words and phrases. There are hundreds of emojis today, but the most popular ones are used so frequently that it has changed the way we speak. A few phrases that come to mind are, I'm dead, I'm crying, keeping it 100, and fire. The skeleton emoji you see on the screen is used when you are both surprised and amused at something, like you can't believe someone's just said that, but you can relate, so it's funny. The laughing emoji with tears is often used when something is super funny or embarrassing. Danesi discusses how emojis are primarily used to increase positivity, and I think the specific emoji is most often used for that purpose. Now, in conversation, you can hear people say, I'm crying, to describe that they're laughing when something is funny. The 100 emoji is used when someone is speaking on something they feel passionate about, or when they feel like they're reinforcing their statement as a truth. In conversation, this phrase used to be, I'm keeping it real, and now it's, I'm keeping it 100, or 100, as some people say. Finally, the fire emoji. This is used in messages to describe something in a positive way, like the way something looks or tastes. We use the word fire verbally as well. It's difficult to determine which came first, using it verbally or using it online. Kind of like the chicken and the egg. Do any of you know which came first, the emoji or the word? Emojis act as a facial expression when you're communicating through text, social media, or other internet mediums. However, these symbols are predetermined and leave little room to make them unique. That's where they differ from memes. Memes are meant to be shared, changed, and shared again through the internet. In the article Internet Memes as Contested Cultural Capital, the case of 4chan's B-Board, researchers Niesenbaum and Schiffman define a meme as groups of digital items such as images or videos that share common characteristics, are created with awareness of each other, and are distributed online by multiple participants. Memes rely on their audience to be successful. They are not posted randomly. Instead, they often address a specific audience. Niesenbaum and Schiffman argue that memes function as a part of the culture, contributing to the set of ideas around which communities gather and act. I would argue that the most relevant demographics of an audience for memes are where you're sharing it, like Reddit or Facebook, and the ages and location of your crowd. Shared values and knowledge are the key to creating a viral meme. Another aspect of a meme that is important to its success is whether or not it can be easily and quickly understood. The internet is a fast-paced environment, so if you don't catch your audience's eye and deliver a relatable message, they move on almost instantly. Thus, there is a need for simple, easy-to-understand language. When you create a meme, you are hopefully speaking to a large audience. This requires more casual language and brevity. As a result of those requirements, memes are often disregard grammar. When you share a meme, you are sharing the words, grammar, and syntax along with it, and it doesn't stop there. As Nissenbaum and Schiffman discuss, most memes are on a template from a specific origin, which is often a site like 4chan or Reddit. Each of those sites have their own rules for the correct way to create a meme. So if you want to recreate a meme, you need to follow the template, which may require the use of specific syntax or writing style. Notice how this one over here uses more simple language, and even though it has grammar mistake, it'll be shared more often than this one, which uses more complex language. Memes follow rules similar to how a language follows rules. If you stray too far from them, your audience may not understand, or, in the case of memes, they will scroll past. The practice of meme making and sharing is a public and social practice. Shareability and relatability are highly valued social practices. Do you think that memes can really be a language? David Crystal's book, The Language and the Internet, covers the earlier years of NetSpeak. Crystal argues that electronic discourse is writing that very often reads as if it were being spoken. With things like texting, DM, Messenger, WhatsApp, and Snapchat, I would agree that users type how they speak. They sometimes even send multiple texts or messages in a row because they speak in sentences and not paragraphs. To this, Crystal asks, but to what extent is it possible to write speech, given a keyboard restricted to the letters of the alphabet, numerals, and a sprinkling of other symbols, and a medium which disallows some critical features of conversational speech? Well, memes help to make up for the features of communication that are missing when you type. Facial expressions and gestures help imply mood and tone when you're communicating. Crystal discusses how different modes of online communication are used with individual standards of written language. For example, you wouldn't typically type in the same format when you're typing through Messenger and when you're typing through email. Notice how Wonka is the condescending Wonka, and the sipping my tea is minding my business. These are well-known memes, and they carry their own nuances that send a specific point. Memes are a whole different mode of communication online, and I would argue that through emojis and memes, we as a society are experiencing the rise of a new visual language. This visual language has standards and rules that have become a social norm. In other words, I do not think of memes as online writing, but as online speech. Crystal outlines the differences between speech and writing. One difference is that speech is part of an interaction in which both participants are present, and the speaker has a particular addressee, whereas writing is a situation in which the writer is distant from the reader, and often doesn't know who the reader will be. Memes are created with an audience in mind, and by sharing it online, both the creator and the viewer are present. In speech, there is no time lag between production and reception, and the speed of the exchange makes it difficult to engage in complex planning. Crystal describes that the pressure to think while talking promotes looser construction. With writing, there's always a time lag, and it allows for repeated reading and analysis, which promotes careful organization and sentence structure. Meme creators are pressured to create and share memes as quickly as possible in order to stay on top of the ever-changing pop culture. If they wait too long, the window of opportunity is missed, and if they are recreating a meme, they must do it before the effect of that template has lost its popularity. Finally, errors, once spoken, cannot be withdrawn while writers can edit their draft. With memes, if the creator is pressured to share quickly, there can and often are mistakes. Once a meme is shared publicly, you can't edit it. Memes have become a form of written speech because they share more qualities with the way we speak than with the way we write. Now that I have covered how our digital language has evolved, I will go over a few ways our verbal speech has evolved as well. The Oxford English Dictionary's timeline shows new word additions by the decade. Between 2000 and 2010, there were 426 words added. The number of new words hasn't been that low since the decade of 1280. The highest number of additions was in the decade of 1880, with 36,351. In this decade so far, there have been 20. A few new words added are bromance and glamping. These are examples of lexical change, blending. Colloquial phrases like epic fail and I can't even are also new additions to the Oxford English Dictionary. More additions from the Oxford English Dictionary include derivations like hater with an added suffix and pregame with an added prefix. Twerk is a new word created by conversion in the US. Thing, like in the phrase, is that even a thing? Is a new colloquial phrase as well. You can see on the screen a few other new additions to the Oxford English Dictionary, like blue and red state to describe which political affiliation each state is known as. That one was really important in the past few years with the election. I feel like there was a lot of memes passed around the internet that you would have had to know what those phrases meant. These are some more changes that I have come up with. If you can look on your screen, broadening is a semantic change, like with words like lit, which used to mean, or still does mean, like you lit the fire, you lit the match, and now it is used to describe a situation as being fun. Woke is described as a situation, or a state of being, I should say, where you are aware of something that's happening in the world. Ghost is a way to describe somebody who is ignoring you, like somebody went ghost on you. A snowflake is a way to describe a liberal person. It's not a very nice way, but it's a way. New words like yas and bay have been added, not added to Oxford English Dictionary, but added to my vocabulary, I guess. More colloquial phrases like left on red or slide into the DMs. Those are also phrases that I can think of. And clipping, like America and bougie. America is, I put into context with the American South. So it still means America, but it's just America. And bougie comes from the word bourgeois, and it's used to describe somebody of a higher class. So again, emojis have brought us back to the visual language. Memes are, in my opinion, a written speech, and both memes and emojis have influenced English linguistics. They've influenced the way we communicate online and the way we communicate verbally with one another. Thank you so much for listening.